In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
That's it. Speaking of uncomfortable, welcome to another pointless automotive podcast. We have guests. Be our guest. Wait, didn't she just die?
Wait.
Angela, Miss Potts, Angela Lansbury.
I don't even know who that is. Murder She Wrote?
Yeah, Murder She Wrote
Okay.
lady, and she was like the pot in the.
No.
I like the Simpsons version.
The Simpsons.
Be My Vest. You
Yes, Be My Vest.
guys know the Simpsons.
And we do have
where I know it. There we go.
There we go.
Gotta
man,
put your
yells out
audience,
loud.
Frank.
So we do have guests today. We have two, but we're going to concentrate specifically on one because we're going to save the second guest for a second episode. This is going to be a two-parter, my friends. So we do have Robert and Joe. They are from VALT Auto Club here in the San Francisco
This is gonna be
Bay Area.
Take
Oh, it's
it
okay.
too.
We traffic and all. It's fine. Feel
be
free
fine.
to just take your shirt off if you like. Do whatever.
Usually starts with pants.
Yeah, exactly. Pants and jacket.
Off.
Anyways, what are we doing here today? Well, we're talking about cars, and we have our friends here from VALT, and I think mostly we're going to spend this episode hanging out, talking, discussing with Robert here, and we're just going to talk all the same stuff we normally do. Cars, what the heck you guys do? What is VALT? Why do we care? Why does anyone care?
Why do you care?
I don't. That's a loaded question. I suppose. So first off, and then Joe here will probably chip in from time to time,
At some point.
make some crass remarks or not.
I'll be the controversial topic so that
Hot takes.
this gets a lot of views and stuff.
He'll sell a car and a watch to everybody on the show right now.
Exactly. So that's what's going to happen there. So
I might sell a car. I don't know.
I suppose Chadwick, do you want to start us off, or Robert, do you want to start us off?
Maybe like a brief intro.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
Gosh, see, I ask people this exact question every week, twice a week. I guess.
Okay.
And I've never been on the other side of it really.
Sure.
I have no idea who I am. I have
No pressure,
idea,
man. You
no
got
idea
this.
what I do. This is like an
Jackie Chan's Who
This
Am
is
I?
actually more
Yeah.
of an existential question than it is.
How much time do you have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're all just like desiccated,
Yeah.
skeletonized.
Yeah.
Creatures
In
here at the
historical
end of the
time,
podcast.
we all have no time.
Deep. So you're a philosopher. In addition to that, it sounds
This
like
is why he has no job.
exactly. It's okay.
No, Donnie, these men are nihilists.
So
Who am I? Is that what you said?
who are you? Okay, let me refine that. I suppose.
Who are you wearing today?
Exactly.
Picture. Got you there.
Thought that was it's almost skin tone, really.
No, everybody. This was a joke in college, actually. Like everybody on my team would laugh at me when I wore this shirt, and they'd
How long have
say
you
I
had
was
that shirt?
running around without a shirt on. I got it like senior year of college.
Okay.
So 3 years.
Well, and I do have to apologize to Joe for our very janky
No, I
mic
guess
stands.
I
It's
was-
okay.
I got
No,
too
it's not
close
your
to the
fault.
table.
Trust me, it's the fault of the stand. So okay, and then so you are part of the crew of VALT
Yeah.
Auto Club.
Yeah. So if you
What the
want me
heck
to
is,
give, if you want
let's
me to
just start there. What the heck is that?
give, yeah.
tell me more.
I mean, this is a thing that you'll hear more of it from Joe too
Sure.
after this. But Joe and I formed this 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
Right before the pandemic.
Oh, good timing.
Perfect.
Well, right as the pandemic started.
We started talking about it
So you guys
right before the pandemic.
Yeah, so VALT Auto Club is really like an amalgam of many things, but the core of all of it is a club, hence the name.
Sure.
Where we're trying to combine like all of the major epicenters of car culture in the Bay Area,
Okay.
and funnel everything into our membership platform, which basically gives people from different like professional networks or enthusiast communities access to each other, whether they live in the same city or not,
Okay.
and access to premium events that vary from 10 people to 2,000 people in attendance.
Right.
Obviously, there's like a North Star for us and like things we'd like to build, but we also do a lot of other stuff in like the photojournalistic space. We
Sure.
do a decent amount of media. We have a podcast.
Sure.
We're actually working on a documentary right now with a prototype car manufacturer from LA.
Interesting.
That is crazy. It's this like track special that's probably going to sell for like 800 to $1 million when it comes
Cool.
out. And
Right in my budget.
yeah,
Very should I get
reasonable.
2 or 3?
Very
That's
reasonable.
right, exactly. His and hers.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about that project. I come from like the media side of stuff. I mean,
Okay.
kind of. I studied neurobiology and political science in college, and I clearly did nothing with either of those majors.
Psych major baby right here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking at.
And then I always had done car photography through college
Mm-hmm.
and in high school, and I had like a little blog, and it basically let me drive a bunch of shit I would have never been able to drive. I would like
Sweet.
put notes on people's doors, and they'd be like, "Here's my Porsche," and thanks, dude.
Cool. Can't argue with that.
So I try to like weave as much of that into Vault, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's a useful endeavor with all my time, but
Right.
I love doing it, so I keep doing it.
Well, that's half the battle, right? I mean, I certainly am not like rolling in cash, but I'm having a good time,
Yeah.
and it's doing stuff like this and doing stuff in the automotive world, and so with Vault, you said, so it's multifaceted. So you have there's a media component and all different sorts of media, whether it's long form documentarian stuff or you've got a podcast.
Yeah, that's our
and-
first. The documentary's our first. Like neither of us expected that to be an angle we would go, but we
Right.
found somebody who's like in the right place at the right time, raising
Cool.
a next like round of funding that can,
Right.
I was like, gotta say yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So what I guess. So you said it started right along with COVID, which I'm not going to say you started COVID, but it sounds like you did.
Yeah, we
so
did.
That's probably
Yeah.
you guys engineered that.
I actually flew
that
to
cruise
Wuhan.
ship.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
came
yeah.
over into
Yeah,
the.
yeah. That was actually a car show cruise ship. They didn't tell anybody that, but
Wait, was that the car show where it was the mandatory you have to eat a bat?
yeah, you have to
Yeah,
eat a bat. You have to go
that's
to Wuhan right before.
Right.
Definitely. Well, good. I'm glad we've solved that.
Uh-huh.
I always thought it was 5G, but what do I know? And in addition to starting a worldwide pandemic, I suppose what was the drive to start this? Was it just like,
Yeah.
hey, these are fun things, let's do it, or did you see a specific need here in the Bay
Right.
that like, hey, there's this like cluster of people in the North Bay, and then there's this
Yeah.
other cluster of people on the peninsula, but they don't intersect, and so did you see a market there? I guess walk me through
That's
the
a good
origin
question.
story.
So for like me personally, it was kind of a confluence of different things. I had been working at a brand strategy firm for a year at that time, my first job out of college.
Cool.
And I had spent the whole time doing like, for lack of better words, like stuff I didn't really love doing, like for companies I don't really love
Sure.
working for, but like the type of work that I was doing was really interesting to me.
Cool.
And I had been really wanting to go build out that blog that I had like done in college and make it
Right.
into something else, something different. And I had already actually coded a whole website for myself
Cool.
with
Okay.
like a login platform and all this other stuff. It's literally in a file on my desktop still. But I don't want to have to go build a database for everything, and like I'd rather just host stuff on WordPress. So I was already like really primed to go do something like that, and I
Okay.
knew in my heart that like the only way at that time I could ever focus on like any work that I did was if it was like in something I really loved, like the car world. I found that like the longer I was at my old job, like the less I could focus on like any work for any
You're just like
5
you're just like
minutes.
staring out the window, watching the birds.
Yeah, I
fly
just
by,
like literally
like,
wouldn't do work, like
slowly turning into office space.
yeah, and it was only a year in, like it's not like I was like 40 years tenured to this job. I was like not very far into the job,
Right.
So I kind of knew I was already like in a position that I wanted to go do something in the car world more professionally or more like seriously. And then I met Joe at a Cars and Coffee that he had been hosting at his college. He was in his master's program there, and he had been hosting it there for a number of years.
Western Career or DeVry or
St. Mary's.
oh okay.
And he
Go
had been-
Gales.
Yeah, go Gales. Oh, right. So he'd been doing that for a couple of years, and we kind of just realized I think we had like a similar idea. We both wanted to build like the classic like warehousing, storage, co-working kind of solution. A little bit like what you guys have here, but with more of like a club element and like a co-working space element baked into it.
Right, and also just to jump in real quick, for those that are not watching and are listening along, we're back hanging out at Car Park today. That's car with a K.
It's
So
really cool.
a hat tip to Daryl and David and the crew over here at Car
course.
Park for putting us up and putting up with us yet again. So that's where we are.
Just in case the 2 GT3s didn't give away the fact that we're not in my shop right now.
Sure. Yeah.
really stressful.
It's slightly. Yeah. Just Do not roll backwards hyper aggressively.
Very little body control.
Fall forward.
Yeah,
Fall into the mic.
Yeah, well, I brought some fuzzy handcuffs. We can cuff you to the table so you don't go backwards if you choose.
If you give me a few of these, I'll hurdle it.
Oh, there.
I was a hurdler in college. I swear I can clear that.
Oh no! Wow. So okay, so yeah, so you guys, that's kind of, does that lead us to today? Like what?
No, so that was like our origin story. Like
Sure.
we met and we wanted to do this thing, but we spent like a couple months putting together like what we were going to do, and then the pandemic happened, and obviously we couldn't. There was a building in Moraga that had like 15,000 square feet. It was an old bank building. It had 2 stories. That's why we're called Vault, because it had a bank vault. It's the least imaginative name ever, but it works. And now it doesn't have a U, so it's unique.
Did you say it's unique?
Yeah. We took the U we put the
right.
U in unique.
That's where it
There
went.
you go.
Yeah, okay.
And we obviously couldn't like go build a business, an indoor membership based business with
Right.
during COVID.
You have to pivot.
So we did the next best thing, which really, I guess, in hindsight, wasn't that much safer. But really, if you read the guidelines for like transmission, it was a fucking shitload safer. There's so many people
Is
complaining. to
podcast
us.
clean or is it dirty?
Which one?
Is this podcast clean
Yeah,
or
can I
dirty?
say?
Oh, yeah, let it rip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had big events, and the first event, we just anticipated it being another Cars and Coffee, like what he did in college. We couldn't do it there, I think, because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we did it like right
Sure.
down the road in Moraga, and we had like 600 cars show up to our first Cars and Coffee, probably because nobody else was doing Cars and Coffee, because COVID
And
just started.
And important people were there. for
Yeah,
no
there
reason,
were
just
some
randomly.
pretty important people, because I think Joe has a really deep
No, I didn't do anything.
background in a lot of it.
I didn't really
Well, no, but you sharing
You just posted the poster.
and the guy we were working with another guy at the time that he had really a lot of depth in the car world too, and he had, I think, shared it around a lot of places too. So we got a lot of people out to the first event. I think it was that one or the next one. I can't remember what we started working on.
No, the first one was big.
Yeah, so that one was big, and then we came back the next month, or I think the next month,
Yeah.
and had another one that got big, and that was kind of how we got into events, and it was not. We didn't like. Meet
It
up
wasn't
one
by
day.
design. It kind
and-
of just organically.
Yeah, and they just kept getting massive, and we were like, we have to keep doing this, so we just kept doing it. That was how the event started.
Got it. And do you think that's probably how you guys are most well known, generally? Like if you
I-
like bump into, if you were to go to a random Cars and Coffee,
Yeah.
and you saw a Vault sticker on somebody's car or something, and you ask them, "Hey, what's that?" Like, would you think that's what they would say? They'd be like, "Oh, they do."
I think the
they do
people
car
with-
events.
I don't know. I think the people with Vault stickers know, like they come to like salon, like the little Cars and Coffees, or they go to like our rallies, or they come to our warehouse events.
Right.
I think what people know us as is that car club that had a massive. Think of us as a car club. I think.
Yeah.
That had like a 2,000, 3,000 person event at the USS Hornet in the middle of COVID. It's really bad. That's like what like a lot of people think of us as.
Interesting. I was there.
It was cool.
I went out there. I had the Metro
crazy.
convertible at the time.
It was asinine.
And I got to take the Metro convertible
Yeah.
out.
That's cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
And the lifted Sienna. I went out in the lifted Sienna there.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
Musto
cool.
was yelling at me like, "What are you doing? What is that?"
Uh-huh.
I was like, I make poor life choices. So
We all do.
yeah, we all do. Yeah, back to the origin story. Very cool, Chadwick. Do you have anything specific here that
I do, yeah.
on that front?
I
or-
figured we'd hit you guys with some like industry questions first, and then we'll
Uh-huh.
move into the soft stuff. But starting off hard,
soft serve.
are you guys considering expansion into more popular aspects of car meets, such as sideshows and takeovers?
Yeah, so actually our next I had just got off the phone with some really important people about this. Our next big growth avenue is going to be just fucking shutting down every intersection we can find.
And donks. Have you considered donks?
Yeah, and donks,
They
and
kinda come
also
with-
open carrying probably too.
Ooh,
I think
that's
everybody-
always a good play.
You can
Edgy in
only-
California.
You can only come to a takeover if you open carry. That's
and or completely naked.
and you
Because
have to have a bump
First
stop.
off, the body's a temple
Yeah, true.
or a prison, depending on your body.
Preferably with meth too. I think.
Yeah. We can go
Fentanyl
full.
work or
Fentanyl's okay.
money's a little tight for meth. right
Fentanyl's a
now.
little. And ketamine would be okay. 'Cause
Okay.
You,
Ooh.
you get a little bit
Make
of
an
both
open
directions.
carry K-hole in the middle of an intersection with cars, just full whip around it. Oh boy.
You won't feel the car hit you if you're in a K-hole.
Exactly. If you're already being gripped by the warm embrace of death, then it'll really won't be nearly as bad.
Their new slogan is "Never stop causing issues."
Yeah. Never,
interesting.
never stop sideshowing.
Never stop sideshow.
yeah.
Oh, that's the new one. Okay.
And then you start marketing the fact that like you never know where the next sideshow will happen. You get caught in the middle of a sideshow,
Yeah, and you just got to start swanging it.
Yeah.
And you that's what you make sure you're completely covered. Exactly.
Isn't that a tramp stamp you have, Frank, that says never stop sideshowing?
Definitely. Yes, exactly.
It has
I
to
don't know
be
how
that
intellectual
certain blue, or
property
they're
is.
not going to approve it if it has to be a certain blue. So
Oh,
we're going to
perfect.
have to see that later.
Yeah, we'll
gotta check the
definitely.
head.
His is
They're gonna
mostly
sue you if
magenta.
it's-
Well, when I'm in that K-hole later, we'll definitely get a good look at it.
Okay, I did have a serious component to that question, though.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, what would you say are some of the attributes of a successful car meet?
Yeah.
Like, that builds positive reputation, unlike most
Unlike
sideshows.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a really thin line to walk that we've tried to maintain for the longest time, which is the line between like car meet and event. And the nice, attractive thing about like a car meet to the public is that it's accessible. Events tend to be like super exclusive to certain demographics, which is
Sure.
valuable if you're trying to build a brand in a certain demographic, you know?
Right.
But like our brand is really supposed to be built around the enthusiast that loves all cars, you know, which is a really difficult brand to build. I mean, having like the government, whatever local government is involved in the property that you're on your side, is like the number one thing. If it's a private property, making sure that you have contracts in order with the people that you're renting the space from or partnering with the space on, and make sure that contract protects you so that they can't cancel the event a week ahead of time. You know, like all these different, like having some type of contingency involved where like if they do cancel a week ahead of time, you are guaranteed your money for the rental back, and they also will cover your like any costs that you might have incurred
Sure.
for paying for porta potties. Porta potties are expensive as shit. Or like
Pun
paying
intended.
for
That was
food.
so topical. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is like making sure you
Yeah.
understand whose space you're using, how you can legally use it, and then making sure you understand what type of insurance you need to have to do that in that space. And like, that's all that really matters, because all the big events, all these like car meets that get shut down all the time, the reason they get shut down is because like they didn't tell the city they were going to have 55 million people in
Right.
like an IKEA parking lot, you know, like
True.
on like a Saturday morning.
They're just all for lingonberries, bro. Like, they're not- can't shut me down, man. Have you had those meatballs? They're that good. Like they just all showed up, and they're exotics.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's and maybe this is, and you had mentioned about the enormous turnout that you guys end up having at like the USS Hornet and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get taken by surprise with how successful and big some of these events turn out to be? Where you're like, oh, hey, we're expecting, you know, probably 300 people will show up, and then you blink and it's 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, that
Whoa.
one, there was one Hornet show. I personally don't feel like I felt that way since we had those Hornet shows.
Right.
And that's because they were free. They were
Right.
completely free admission. And there were other things that made them get big that, whatever. That was the last time I felt that way. But when that happened, it was like, why are there so many people here? Well, please don't come again because there's too many of you. I would love it if like half of you didn't show up next time because it's really
Right.
stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
And
And
I feel like it's gotten a lot more manageable since then.
do you think that's the pay to play is a big component of that?
Yeah, totally. I think
Yeah.
I mean, it helps you curate like the cars that come to your events.
Sure.
It also restricts certain demographics, like car demographics, not people demographics,
Right.
from coming to the events, which
Sure.
sometimes don't play well with
Others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. The Mustang that hits the median at
Yeah, it's
at
nice if you
wide
have
open
somebody.
throttle.
If nobody's getting hit by a car. It's
That's always
usually good for
yeah.
our insurance.
Limited fatalities is always a plus.
I remember that was something that Joe and I would always laugh about, like the night before one of the Hornet shows was like, well, I really hope a kid doesn't get like flung off the dock and drown in the water tomorrow, ha ha ha. And it was like, because there's like children.
And then you're like, time to go to sleep, and you're just staring at your
Yeah,
ceiling, with like eyes wide open, like impossible to fall asleep. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's got to be a stress point.
Yeah.
Do you think there's? So that's all on the event side. Do you think that there's other stuff to be had? On the event side, like obviously you guys have like a quarterly events that you do, and you said the smaller cars and coffee.
Yeah.
What does on the event side? What does that future look like? Do you think?
Yeah, there's like two main growth avenues for us in events. There's like how we can grow within each event and how we can grow outside of the current events that we have.
Sure.
Right now we're spreading out from like the Berkeley area. We're launching a series of events down in Santa Clara because the South Bay has a shit ton of car
Literally
people.
millions of people.
Yeah, and a lot of them are really wealthy, which means they'll bring cool cars.
Yep.
Not that not wealthy people don't have cool cars. I just feel like, you know.
Why are you coming at me like that, bro?
I'm poor as shit.
Average project car, $2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. it's Just
So there's that. We're moving, geographically, we're spreading out a lot more, and
Okay.
that's one way. But then also within each of these events, something we're looking to do is get more partners and sponsors involved that have like their own specific reach in the car community.
Sure.
And then really curating and like creating all of these show spaces in a much more meaningful way. My
Right.
goal is like for every show to basically never have a show that doesn't improve on the previous show, or the
Right.
previous event or whatever you're doing. So like for the last couple events, the thing that we've been really Joe's been spearheading is like staging, just like staging and like how to
Right.
stage these cars, because really
not just a parking lot that like
Yeah.
people vomit cars into.
Yeah.
And it's just like
And I mean, we take everything. Like our whole thing is like we'll take anybody in the show space where their awards are given. Like we take any car that signs up. So like the biggest challenge with that is that you can't. It's not 7 million Porsches. You can't just
Sure.
put all the G bodies together, put all the fucking whatever else. Yeah, staging, and then, I mean, I guess food accessibility is another big one for us. It's actually really difficult to find food vendors.
you would think it wouldn't
that.
be.
They're always busy.
I guess it's good on them. I mean,
Sucks.
in some way, I'm like, the world doesn't need any more like food trucks because there's like a billion of them. But
Yeah.
apparently, there's a
They're
lot
all
and a need.
zoned weirdly too, because we operate so much in Berkeley, and a lot of them aren't like zoned to operate in Berkeley or Alameda or like.
Different counties. Have
Yeah, they're like
different- you
most
guys
of
have
them
a-
are for like San Francisco or like Concord.
Interesting.
It's like Contra Costa or San Francisco, but there's like it's hard. There's like not that many that like travel and sell in our area, and when we find them, they're always busy.
Who knew? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the future. Maybe you guys need to have your own vault.
Food truck.
Food mobile. Food truck.
Yeah, sounds
That'd be
expensive.
great.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Let's talk about health codes.
So I do want to ask you about some cars, like your own car stuff here. But Chadwick, before we do that, do you have any other like vault
God.
stuff? I mean, we're going to be talking to Joe here too in a little bit, so we got
Almost-
to
almost-
save some sweet content for this guy.
The deep questions. You stole my segue there, Frank.
Oh, good. I try.
But yeah, same deal. What's your personal fleet look like, and what do you want it to look
cars.
like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
I have no idea what I want it to look like. There's way too many things I like.
Well, we're
That's
dreamers
what-
here.
that's-
so
that's-
just whip it out, lay it on the table.
That's literally like the conversation we have on this
It's
podcast.
really
It's all-
every
it's
other
like every
episode.
other week.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just remembered this thing exists. Now I
Right.
want
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
Now I need
apparently I want a Panard now
Yeah.
in my garage, so I don't know that. I didn't know that 40 minutes ago.
You'll be the French car guy now.
Yeah, right, great. I have a 1968 RSSS Camaro, which I kind of accidentally bought on Bring a Trailer when I was a senior in college.
Accidentally.
And then I have a 1986 325 BMW 325 ES, which Joe's dad just helped me swap an I motor into.
Oh.
It took
Goodbye,
like-
Edda.
It took like 18 years to swap that motor, but it happened. And I just sold a 03 NB Miata,
Okay.
and I just bought a 05 Volvo V70R. Very nice.
That's the whip. you
Yeah,
pulled
that's
up in
my
today,
daily.
right?
Yeah, that's my
Good,
daily.
solid daily. What is
Yeah.
automatic manual?
Yeah, it's an auto.
Thought I heard some Swedish 5-cylinder out there.
Yes. A good. But powered by a Ford Swedish.
True.
Five-cylinder.
Yeah.
Great motors though.
With
Like,
a
we talked
Mitsubishi turbo.
about- It's international. It's basically Pitbull.
Oh.
It is worldwide.
You know, Pitbull hasn't had a license in like 13 years.
Really?
He got it. He
You're
got.
just riding dirty?
Yeah, well, no, he just doesn't drive. He gets
Mr.
driven
Bull.
everywhere. He got
Golly.
for some he wouldn't admit why he got his license revoked, but he got some really aggressive
Comment below.
And he said yeah.
Pitbull enthusiasts react.
And apparently he doesn't ever drive. He was on a Jay Leno episode recently, and he was like, "Yeah, I haven't had a license in 13 years because it got taken away, and I'm too scared to drive again because I know I'll do something stupid." was like, that's a very insightful.
It is.
Pitbull, you know,
Interesting.
like
That is insight by Pitbull.
Yeah.
Like it just the life lessons that we can pull away from Pitbull
Yeah.
every day. I don't
He's a
think
good
are
guy.
realized by us, honestly.
the kids are lucky to have Pitbull as a
I know. As their zenith.
When's the last time I even heard about Pitbull?
Yeah.
It's like been a Pepsi commercial.
I can't
or
believe
something?
I saw this thing like last week. It was
Wow.
such good timing.
It's good trip.
Yes, come here for a car and Pitbull talk. Okay, so you've got. So tell me real quick about this Camaro, because it sounds like okay. So you've got a German, a compact German sedan. You have
E30,
a mid-size Swedish station wagon, and you have a traditional American muscle car. These are fairly incongruent,
Yeah,
which is great because that's like what we traffic in.
spread,
We all
yeah,
have
yeah.
like weird stuff.
I mean, I have
in
no
our-
self-control, so like I fall in love with something, and if I have any money at that moment, I probably will buy it. But usually, I just don't have any money. So
Fair.
like, I feel like each one of these things came when I like had money.
for whatever reason.
Yeah,
And then
so-
you immediately didn't have money, and
Yeah.
it's the only reason that it's kept you from purchasing.
Yeah, I was
Thank you.
literally in a thesis seminar when I bought the Camaro, and it was on. I'd been watching it all week. My dad and I grew up like in love with the '68 Camaro. Like I always talked about wanting to buy one when I was older and had some money, and specifically a red with white pinstripes. And this is a red
That is-
with white pinstripes. It's an RSSS. It had like factory AC. It was the weirdest options I ever had. Factory AC,
327?
350. No console, but it's a 4-speed,
Ooh.
and had AC. It was weird.
That is weird. So
Yeah.
it's like an RS SS without a console?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you can spec one
there's
that way. Like a
option-
weird
You
cut-
could do
it was like a
whatever you
delete.
wanted. Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted when you
Console
bought those
delete.
cars. You just do
Yeah.
whatever. And it had a vinyl top, but the previous it was a 2-owner car. The previous owner, who was a collector from Colorado, had repainted the top and pulled the vinyl off. So
Like,
now
was
it's
it
red.
white vinyl originally?
Yeah, yeah,
That's kind of dope.
yeah. It would have been cool, but I like it red. It looks better.
Yeah.
The paint job's like a 6 out of 10. But
That's fine.
whatever.
You know what
Perfect
that
for
means?
driving, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That means you're not afraid to use it. Like
Yeah.
you can go like, oh no, I got a rock chip. You're not going to go like
Yeah, there's
put a
tons
revolver
of like
in your mouth. You're
there's
just
like
like going to keep
bubbles,
driving.
you know. So yeah, I was sitting in a thesis seminar and I like bid twice. I think I bid and somebody countered me and I just bid $29.5 and closed it and I didn't come back to it. And then I got to track practice and I looked at my email and I was like, that sucks. That sucks.
Whoops.
That sucks.
Am I getting sponsored at the next track meet?
Exactly right.
Yeah. And I grew up, I learned to drive manual on a 52 MG TD, which was inherited from my mother's father.
Okay.
And that went away when I was, I don't know, sometime in college, I think.
Where'd it go?
But yeah, I always had, we sold it to the mechanic that had been maintaining it for a really long time.
Okay. That's a good home.
Must
Yeah,
have been
I
an
still
honest
know where it
mechanic.
is. I still know where it is, yeah.
Not buying that piece of shit back.
Yeah, it's a terrible car. But it was fun. I mean, it was like it was a total death trap. You know,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
touch the road from the steering. You know, the steering wheel is like this big. Crumple zone was your chest.
Yeah, I just get harpooned by the non-clutch steering column. Yeah, that was my first car. Was a '65 Barracuda, and the same deal.
Yeah.
Like not.
I mean, the Camaro's no different.
You might '68
It
might have
crumple,
an.
actually,
You might
it
have
might
an.
collapse.
Well, I had a buddy in high school with a '68 SS, black on black, 4-speed.
Oh, that's cool.
And he made an unprotected. He couldn't see the sun was his eyes. He made an unprotected left in front of someone and just got smoked by a guy in a work van and just swung the whole frame over and totaled it, like way totaled.
But he was
it.
okay?
He was on campus, and then
Yeah.
just one day he
That's
kept like
terrible.
he was like, oh, he just kept showing up in his dad's truck. He just like didn't have the heart to like tell anyone that like he wrecked it. It was a really cool car, and now that's I don't know. At the time, that would have been like 2001-ish, so it might have gotten saved, but it was pretty. Now that car would get fixed 100 times out of 100.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because the values are there. At the time, it was worth money, but
They
it
haven't
wasn't
been worth
crazy.
much for, it wasn't until fairly recently.
Yeah,
You know? I mean, like everything from that era.
yeah, like everything from all eras at all times.
Yeah.
So that was you had the empty, like you've got this varied selection of lineup of stuff that you have currently. What like is there anything that you find yourself specifically drawn to? Like, oh, I like Japanese coupes, or I really
See, that's
like.
the one thing that I am like. I think of myself as like really partial to JDM, and I've never really. I mean, I have that Miata or had that
Sure.
Miata, but like I never really had any cool JDM. I really want like an R30 Skyline, like you know the
That would be
cheese
dope.
wedge Skyline.
Yeah, yeah, those are really cool.
I don't know, like yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Did you get to Radwood this year?
No.
No, okay. There were a couple of those at Radwood.
Yeah, they're cool.
They were
There's
really
one
cool.
that one dude with the red black one.
Yeah,
It was the
that
same
one.
one.
Yeah, he was there.
I don't know. I feel like I have a place for everything. Like it's so much about the experience, and like any car that's worth anything is like you can really find an interesting way to enjoy it. You know, even like a shitbox Corolla. Like Joe's girlfriend has a Corolla, and it's like
Perfectly adequate.
so
and enjoy to drive because
and
of
it's
it.
and that's the
Yes.
experience. You know, it's like I would take
Just
a Corolla
gets
because I just
to the
flog
look-
it.
And you can just kick the ever living
Yeah.
shit out of it, and
Yeah.
it will like ask for more and not care. And
And
it's
it's
like,
CVT, so you could floor it in anger, and it just stays there the whole time.
it's just pinned 100 RPM under redline.
6,800, whatever the hell that was. It's just like
Yeah.
super angry. You could scream, and it's screaming at you. And it's kind of intriguing, to be honest.
That's how I'm oftenly described. Perfectly adequate and fun to drive.
That's true.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
I can relate.
That's
Basically a
not
Corolla.
How close am I?
There you go.
bad. Exactly. Please don't.
Yeah, I saw you look over, Mike. How close am I?
See, I would love to get into racing. I've spent a lot of time documenting a racing team up, and I just was deep in thought thinking about what I want to get.
Good. That's why we're here. Okay.
Welcome back.
We're leading this horse to water.
I've been documenting this team through VALT that's based in Berkeley,
Okay.
and the guy that owns the team is a young dude who raced his entire childhood. He started at the late age of 12, and his co-driver is an actor who got into racing when he was 40, 42, something like that.
Is it what's his face, Dempsey or whatever? What's that guy's name?
No.
The guy from.
Patrick Dempsey?
Yes. that
No,
guy.
it's not Patrick.
I was going there too.
But I've been spending so much time around race cars and like on a racing simulator at their shop and shit, and like seeing how affordable and accessible slow open wheel formula cars are. Like $25,000.
Formula V or like. Do they still run those?
I don't know, but like even a 20. So this guy has a Mazda formula car,
Okay.
which is a 2-rotor Mazda open wheel spec car
Okay.
that only ever ran for a few years, and they're $25,000, and
Yeah.
it will be actually something we want to do at an upcoming event is put that do hot laps comparisons with him in both cars between that and like
Whatever you
a
bring.
McLaren 720.
Yeah.
And that shit will destroy a McLaren 720 on Sonoma Raceway, and it was
What year was
built
that
in
thing
like
built?
1998.
Yeah.
And it has like no active aero, like it weighs nothing.
Yeah,
It
it's
has
like
a
1,100
2-rotor. It has like
pounds,
no power, you know. And it's like so. I think seeing that, I think that's like the thing that right now I'm the most obsessed with.
Interesting.
Like if I had to sell all my cars and buy something, it would be a race car, and then I would have to find a way
Just
to get
Uber,
to the
yeah.
racetrack. Yeah. Hey, can you Uber trailers? Yeah.
Exactly. That'd be good. They should make that. They should make like toy hauler Uber.
Yeah.
You should do that.
I'd
Haul my
pay
toy.
if I had money.
You should. You should. Well, you got to quit impulse buying
Yeah.
muscle cars,
Yeah.
or don't.
Or
I'm for
do it more.
Yeah.
Just definitely step it up. So
Sing a different tune tomorrow.
there's a game. We're not going to play it just yet. I wanted to, but we'll play it in a second. Before we do that, Chadwick, do you have any last questions before?
Yeah, I
I'd like
do.
to play a game.
Let's piggyback off that other question.
Yeah.
How about historically? Any cars you ever let go that you instantly regretted or down the road regretted letting go?
That I personally
The
sold.
one
Yeah.
that got away.
I mean, I think selling
We all
that
have one.
MG was a little bit sad because it was like
The personal provenance.
It
like-
taught you how
my
to shift, right?
my grandfather like rebuilt. He like found it in a junkyard in like 1965 or something like that.
Brought it
and
back.
like brought it back to life. And he did like the periphery of the country in it multiple times.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
sick.
some MG friends, you know. He had like different stamps from the years he did it, you know.
That's cool.
And he would just bring like his big leather bag of tools and his homies and his like, leather cap, you know.
with the driving goggles.
No, literally, yeah. and
That's so awesome.
so
Just like
that's
the,
sad.
"Oh, we're
Yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah. It doesn't have the bell horn, but yeah, it does have a weird horn. I'd say that I haven't had that many cars. Most of the cars that I've owned, I still own. I
Okay.
sold the Miata, and I had a 2007 Acura TL Type S 6-speed, which
Those
was
are sweet.
That was kind of
cool. But
yeah,
I
those
bought mine was clapped.
Welcome to Torx.
Yeah, mine was
that
terrible.
was my first actual ever experience with Torx.
Oh yeah.
drove
Yeah.
at
Oh
130,
my god.
thinking it was going to be like a ZHP,
Uh-huh.
and I
it has an
I spent
LSD.
5 minutes in that car. I'm like, I don't
It has an LSD.
I don't need this.
I'm
right
out.
now. Yeah, I'm out.
Terrible. Terrible Torxter.
Really, really bad.
I don't know. No, I honestly don't think I super regret anything. And the MG was like partially
No regrets.
my
Yeah.
decision and partially my parents' decision because it was at their house, you know. So,
Sure,
and
yeah.
it was my mom's dad's car. So
Right.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I haven't had enough cars. I like got into like making mistakes with cars at an old age. You know, I feel like a lot of people start doing it when they're in high school or something.
Good on you, for sure.
Well, no, but I just learned that, like this fucking this E30. Like I like bought a clapped E30 and then threw a rod because I had never like owned a car like that before. You know?
Yeah. It's a good place to start BMW with.
Yeah, right.
Taking those risks.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Start clapped. Not with the clap. You don't want to start with the clap.
You can do both.
I mean, you could. That's certainly good. Should I explain this game? I don't know.
Do that. I'll pull
I
up
think you
the.
told me about it.
I'll pull up the
Okay.
quiz.
So this is I will explain it to you guys as well as the listeners who are welcome to play along at home. We don't have an official name for this game. We
Never
call it
will.
our print ad quiz game. If anyone has any better ideas, please find a way to let us know. What we do is one of us, in this instance Chadwick here, will pull up a piece of advertising print
This is
copy
going to be a great game.
Yeah.
from the 80s, the 90s,
idea.
up to the early to mid 2000s.
Really good sticker.
And what we will, sorry, we're sticker peeping. And so what will happen is Chadwick will read it. Our guests here today will have 3 opportunities to try and come up with and make a guess on what this is. If they guess and they get it wrong, they can ask for a hint.
Is it make,
on what-
model, year?
Make, model. If you get year, it's kind of bonus points.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah,
you're,
okay.
you know, some cars it makes a big difference, some cars it doesn't.
Sure.
So take your shot at the year. You can ask for hints in between, and we can also, I think, if we get down there, we can also. I think I'm going to be like a phone a friend on this one.
Oh, cool.
So I'll be over here.
And you know the answer.
I do not know the answer.
Oh, that's even cooler.
But I can be here if I have an inkling of what I think it might be, or perhaps another question that you can ask for your hint. I don't know, but I will be here. So, Robert, Joe, are you ready?
Yep.
You guys can totally work together. And there's 10 minutes on the clock once I get through the ad.
Okay.
So, no
You're
pressure.
playing the ad on the computer?
No, he's
No.
going to read it.
I'll read
Reading
it.
it.
like a
Okay.
print.
There's all
Reading
these
the
things
script.
called. They used to be called either like magazines or sometimes like
Yeah, I don't read-
periodicals.
Printed
fucking-
publications.
Yeah, they,
Words?
It's an old dead
We're already lost.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? You had to hold words in your hand?
You did.
Yeah, you'd swipe
Carefully.
and nothing would happen. It was weird.
Go flip the pages. All right, we ready? Okay, we start off with tech stuff, guys. So 225 horsepower at 4,200 RPM. 3,000 foot-pounds of torque
Something old
at
American.
3,200 RPM.
300 foot-pounds of torque.
That's right. So gas pressurized
3,000
struts up front.
Oh, it's got gas pressurized struts. Oh.
Quadra shock system in the rear. So that's an industry term if you can figure it
Quadra
out.
shock system in the rear.
And 4 patches of extra fat rubber on the
This is
pavement.
American. It's 100%
domestic.
Sounds the fucking Quadra shocks in the rear. That's some stupid American.
That's what I was
bullshit.
gonna say. The
Man, look
Quadra
at
is like
we got
a,
pros.
it's like a Chevy thing or something.
Yeah, it's
probably.
definitely like an 82 Chevy or some shit like that.
82.
Although 225 horsepower.
I couldn't tell
That's
you, man.
that's
80s
that's
cars had.
cooking in the
yeah,
80s.
yeah, that's
Yeah, it
too
was.
high.
Okay, grab into the 5-speed and make your move. It's a kick in the tranny. They were a little softer with transgender people during this time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
You
this
know.
is the past.
That's how you know it's American, too, not German.
The best built blank cars are built by blank. This is based on an average of consumer reported problems in a series of surveys. Blah, 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 blah. Blank, all blanks are equipped with a driver airbag supplemental restraint system.
89 to 90.
Yeah.
225 horses are bound to kick something.
Is it a Fox body?
Guys,
Could be 5 liter.
let your
225
guesses.
horsepower, 5 speed.
So you have to say final answer before you make your guess. But
it's not-
Let's maybe we should get through that. I think we should get through the whole ad.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just.
no, that was it. That was the big
terrible
one.
not talking.
That was the big one. Yeah,
That was the big one.
225,
and
ponies.
so the ad is the car taking a pretty speedy corner at the bottom, bright red.
bright red. Okay,
Guys, what are we talking about today?
Bright red.
so it's got
It's
a
not a Viper.
supplemental restraint system, 225, 300 torque.
300 torque. It
Super
sounds like
low
it sounds like a 5. Maybe
RPM.
not a 50. Yeah, I mean it has to be. It's a 5 speed too. You said.
5-speed manual.
It sounds like a fucking Fox body or something equivalent to a Fox body, like a Trans Am maybe. Or a.
No cylinder count, huh?
Nope.
No displacement.
Nope. Just power and torque.
Raw power.
See, if it was a Fox body, they'd say 5.0.
Maybe.
Could be a Corvette.
I think
225 is too low. I think probably at 300
horsepower
at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like
Is it
80s, like-
Quadra Shock? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
I might have said that.
Quadra Shock.
That's some dumb fucking Detroit bullshit. I love old car ads. They sound so stupid.
Oh, that's why we love them.
It's like talking. It's like non-tech people, or it's like tech people trying to talk to like people that aspire to be like tech people and just using fake tech terms to convince them that something's like cool. That's what Detroit was in 1970.
Didn't mention aerodynamics though. So.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Quadra shockingly.
Quadra shocking. Hey-o.
Do you guess have a
Do you want to go with Fox? Do you have any other guesses?
I mean, it's definitely domestic. It can't be JDM because 4,200 RPM.
Do you want to
is
try
really bad.
Fox?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Can you say a Fox?
I don't
body
know
Mustang?
enough about domestic cars. This 225 horsepower seems like
That seems kind of 225
like-
with like bad emissions technology.
300 of torque. It seems like
Yeah,
enough
it's high
for a
torque for
Mustang.
yeah, right. It's way too high for a V6
Oh yeah,
Or-
yeah. From the 80s,
from
probably.
from an American car,
Man.
like a shitty American car.
Yeah.
I knew a good
And
one
it's-
with 220 horsepower.
Oh yeah,
V6.
And it's in a corner. And
I might have
it's
restored
light
it.
speed.
that's true.
So
What do you guys got?
Is that it? Is that your final answer?
We have 3 tries.
You got 3 tries.
We got 3
Let's
tries.
try Fox body.
Fox Body Mustang.
Yeah. No. It's all right.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Ford Mustang GT.
It's it.
Bonus. Good job, guys. We got a bonus.
that's why you should
we
become
got
a member of the Vault.
Pure knowledge.
I can talk
guys are
shit about
pros.
your Fox body.
These guys are pros. Okay, bonus.
Interesting.
What's the year of this Fox Body we're talking
90.
about?
89.
Well, it has to be past 90 because the E30 started it with airbags in 1990,
So 90.
and it was a law in America.
I want to say 91. If they're advertising it, it's not. It's like new, probably, right? So it's probably like 91.
Yeah, maybe 91.
You guys are right there. 1990.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. They sluiced it out. No
Crushed
phone
it.
a friend needed. Just over here.
I can't believe we got that.
Here's the ad, guys.
Can't believe we got it on first try. That's cool.
Check that out.
Ooh, look at that.
I was gonna say I fucking had that. That's the Celine.
didn't
That's
at
the
all.
Celine like.
I was
How
thinking of the
dope
Mario
is this
Kart
ad?
poster.
This is the thing. These ads were so dope just to look at.
Yeah,
so.
really cool. The copy
job.
was stupid, but
just like ripping through. Oh, is that like a chick wearing sweet sunglasses? I can't tell.
No, it's
chick
good.
with a
that's
mustache.
a dude with a mustache.
Everybody,
badass.
everybody likes their own flavor, Frank.
That's true. That's true. Whatever.
That's
There we
whatever.
go. Great job, guys.
Better to tickle with.
It's awesome.
Well done.
Nice.
You guys want to, Frank?
I feel like you gave us an easy one.
Well,
Well,
speaking of things that are easy, you guys get wet.
you guys party?
You
Yeah.
guys ever do PCP?
No
Yeah,
pressure.
Yeah.
all the time.
That's what we like to do around here.
Stands for Project Car Progress.
Yes. So
Cool.
we like to go over the progress of our various projects.
Oh, this is great!
Cars.
Wow, I'm
PCP,
so glad
product.
you're doing it this week.
Progress.
Oh, we got some good
It's
stuff.
starting to
This
fucking
is the most monumental week of my life for my project car.
Well, let's just start
Yes,
with that.
there we go.
Let's not bury, or should we bury the lead? Do you want to just should we knock our nonsense out of the
Our
way real
bullshit
quick?
out of the way.
Our-
We're not as enthusiastic
minutia?
as our guests today, so
I know, but I want to let that marinate a little bit. You know, let that kind of float around and let it'll be a tease.
Hey, now.
You know, we're gonna dangle that carrot.
you gotta tease it before you can please it.
That's true. Speaking of which, I finally
Didn't know where
got
you were
off
going
my
with that.
ass and I
I was hoping
fixed
for a sponsor ad there.
Speaking of which,
Like a fleshlight or something.
exactly. Hi.
Fleshlight.
I know when I'm in the mood. I don't bother my wife. I get a fleshlight.
the modern man.
No. I don't bother my family. I go out to the shed.
I cover my own
I
mouth.
punch a wall and I use a
And
flash.
stuff a fleshlight into it. Then I punch it over and over and over again.
my dick.
So, as we
PCP,
further,
Frank?
yes, back to just wholesome things like doing PCP. I finally got off my ass and I fixed the bent strut. So I don't know if you guys are aware. I have a lifted Toyota Sienna.
Yeah. you
It's a
you told us
minivan with a
about
lift
it.
kit, and yeah, and so I took it off road and I
Tried to hang with a 100 Series Land Cruiser.
I did.
Actually?
I did.
He couldn't. He couldn't.
It did okay. It did okay.
What'd it go?
We high centered it.
High centered on
it.
a,
It's fine.
on a.
Do you have like some scrape guards or things?
Oh no, grip it. It's a minivan. You just go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you
But I
could-
did manage to, and I've done this
Isn't
several.
it a transverse
times.
motor? Like,
Yeah.
is it-
Yeah, it's up. It's up in the front. It's up there.
smack a rock.
It's fine. It's on its I think 4th or 5th passenger strut. I keep bending struts anytime you go a little aggro.
You ever think of like upgrading them to something that won't bend?
I don't.
Or like
truck.
not
I don't
fucking
think
them up?
that's unless I like literally like armor it. Like I'm just like I don't know. I haven't like ponied up and bought like the OEM fresh
Oh,
struts, so I don't know if they're like more durable.
You probably spent more on non-OEM struts at this point than if you just bought
Potentially.
one.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to be selling it soon because I have too many damn cars and I need to cull the herd a little bit. So I finally got off my ass and I swapped the strut out and the sway bar end link, which it also eats up. So I put new sway bar end link, new strut. The alignment is all cattywampus, so I need to get the alignment done, and then hopefully I can sell it because it just takes up a lot of room and just is I need to get rid of it. But I can do that now because it'll actually drive and not like anytime you like touch a speed bump, it grinds the tire into the strut because it's bent. That's
Solid progress
It's
there.
very stressful.
So that's exactly. So that is done. Chadwick, what are you up to before our guest? Especially Robert here spills his.
I'll keep the energy
not
level
that
down
exciting.
before we
it
jump into
sounds
that.
very exciting. What exciting things are you up to?
I purchased that 04 Forester XT manual.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
So it needs a lot of work. So this week was like buying parts, which whenever I get a new project, I do a big inspection of the car and I buy way too many parts. And it really takes up some time shopping for everything you're going to need, right? Because you want the best price and you feel like a sucker when you go to a site, you buy it and then you're like, see it for like $50 cheaper.
Yeah.
See, this is where we should be sponsored. We need to get our Rock Auto on
Parts
board or something for our-
manufacturer.
I'm doing mostly Subaru OEM because I don't know what's wrong with me with this build. Like
Is
a
the Forester
200,000.
XT a 2.5 turbo?
2.5, yeah.
This is the WRX motor, right?
The later one. It's the same as they put in the Outback XT and
It's a good car.
the Legacy GTs.
That's cool.
Right, a little
Yeah.
detuned, yeah.
They
But
can
it's a
do really-
manual,
sound
which
really
is
good
super
with the
rare.
exhaust. Too.
Yeah.
In a manual, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm doing a full just restoration of it. So it's just shopping around for that kind of crap. I'm doing time belt, water pump, all that kind of stupid stuff. So just time consuming, but that's what my PCP has been.
PCP is generally time
Shopping.
consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Usually on the back end of your life.
Yeah, you use your money,
It's
your
not
life,
right
your
there, but
friends.
like at the very end.
Well, it could be
just shave
immediate.
A clean
It can sometimes
10
be
minutes.
an immediate grinding halt.
Well, true. Yeah. After you like.
Depends how much you do.
After you strangle a cop and leap off a 7-story building.
Exactly.
For the third time. All right, let's kick it over to our guest. of
Yeah.
honor.
Okay. Sir.
Are we doing
Sir,
Joe or me?
Sir Eppley. Let's go. We'll save Joe
Yeah,
for
I got it,
episode
okay.
2.
Oh, true. Okay.
We'll do that. So where do you got the floor is yours, my friend. Where do you?
Yeah,
what are
so
you
I have that
working on
E30 that I mentioned, the ES. I think probably like 8 months ago, I brought it to
long
Mike
time ago.
Ottati's shop. It wasn't a year. I know it wasn't a year because I got a memory
I'll
on
figure it out.
my phone
Keep talking about
from
it.
less than a year ago.
Which means it's going to be close to a year.
It's close to a year,
Clock is ticking.
but it's gone now. So it went to Joe's dad's shop, or his where he stores his cars and works on them, like 8 months ago or more. And he found me an iMotor that was in healthy shape, and then it all kind of I started buying parts and shit, and then it all kind of sat there for the whole time until like a couple weeks ago when I talked to Mike and he was like, "Yeah, you should probably do that." Because you need to do it, and it's taking up space in my storage.
Hint, nudge. Yeah.
So the last like 2 weeks we've spent, or maybe 3 weeks we've spent getting the new motor in and all that stuff, and it's finally driving, which is crazy because the last time I drove it anywhere, it literally sounded like it was about to explode. I mean, I have a video of the rod knock. It was like it was
insert.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
bad. I mean, it was like I remember the mechanic that did my suspension before I brought it over to Joe's dad's shop was like that. He literally said, I just left it in the shop while doing this work because I didn't want to turn the motor over because I was worried it would explode and
Burn the shop to the ground.
everything on my floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's running. It has like
Nice.
full fresh suspension, which is really cool. Everything is mechanically really nice. I have getting exhaust on it this week.
What color is it?
That's
Bronze
that's
it.
the problem.
Oh, we're team bronze it.
Yeah,
generally.
we
See,
do.
but
We
mine
did
is
do a
bad. I just hate mine.
What year?
So it's an '86. So it's a diving board car. I'm gonna do the rear bumper delete, the Euro
Yep.
adapter thing, and then it's on bottle caps. So I need to get new wheels. I'd like to get new wheels.
Why you gotta hate on the bottle
And
caps
eventually,
like that?
Hard
I'd
to find
like to-
tires for the bottle caps.
That's
as
true.
we found out.
And they just look so anemic. I don't like them that much. I mean, if you clean them up a lot, but mine are like, like if you don't ever clean your wheels, they get the brake dust cake that can't come off unless you like sandblast.
You have to redo them, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
aware.
I'd rather just not pay money to redo.
Painfully aware.
Took me a few
What are you gonna
minutes.
go? You gonna go like something period?
I don't know.
You're
I've been
gonna go
talking to a
something
lot of
modern?
everybody I
Get some,
talk to
like,
has different opinions.
16-inch Pana Sports or something from like.
Yeah, well,
back in
I
the day?
actually, you guys are gonna laugh at me. I actually have some 16 by
Teddy bear run
by
off.
7 BBS RSs, but I can't bear to put wheels that are more valuable than my car on my car.
Hey, that car's got some value now.
So I'm gonna sell those wheels.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell the wheels because they're worth like $3,000.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then
Go to run all teddy bears, man.
buy
Come
something
on.
cheap. Yeah.
Well, E30s are going up, so I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
it's,
I'm gonna keep
you
it.
know.
I think they're probably pretty. I don't know if there's a lot more room left for E30s to grow, unless you know.
Well, it's at the end of the era.
Unless
that's
it's
growing.
like
It's moving,
absolute,
you
like
know.
complete, like
Original
museum
car.
piece.
Yeah,
It's
mine's
so
not.
hard to find clean ones,
Mine's
though.
not.
Yeah.
Like insanely hard now.
Mine will always be like a driver spec car, you know. I think
That's
I
where
really
it should
like.
be.
Hey, do you want a cluster out of an eye? Because I have one that needs a home.
Oh my god, yeah. Actually, I don't have
Yeah.
a cluster. Mine is still an E cluster, so it's like red line.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got that one that I
Amazing.
picked up. I've been needing to sell. So
I kinda like
It goes like past 5.
it goes around.
Does it? I don't
Yeah, it's a
recognize
good
these
one.
roads.
Oh, and it has blue houndstooth interior.
Oh, that's
How funny is that? But it's bronzed over blue houndstooth,
Bronze it
which
over
is
blue?
which is why I need
That is
to.
absolute madness.
It wasn't that. I swapped the interior.
Oh, okay.
But that's
Yeah.
why that's why I need to replace it. But it's blue houndstooth sport seats, which is really cool.
That is
so I need
super
to
cool.
repaint it. 'cause
With blue carpet too.
yeah, blue perfect.
So you
Immaculate.
swapped the carpet over
Yeah,
too?
yeah. The whole thing. I bought the whole kit, the whole interior for $700, and I resold my tan interior for $800.
Bitchin'.
Damn.
Yeah, I made money.
Black dash.
Black dash.
Yeah.
Black uncracked original dash.
Hard to find.
There you go. How many miles are on the car? Not that it matters at this point. but-
158,000.
Okay, I think the cluster I have has like 168.
Yeah, it's
So
close to that.
I'll just pretend there's no discrepancy.
Somebody,
Oh, yeah,
and then I'll
somebody
then
pulled
swap from like a high car.
Somebody
We'll
pulled it
edit that
apart
part out,
and
but
like
yeah, don't
painted the needles red for some reason and then put it all back together. But otherwise, it runs. We
That sucks.
put it in ours for a minute and
I like the
seemed,
white
everything
needles.
seemed to work.
You could probably strip them. I didn't want
I
to.
mean, I only need
too
a tack.
hardcore on
I
that.
only need a tack.
Oh,
Speedo is the same.
I would just take the whole
Temp-
thing.
I don't think you can swap them.
It's easier that way.
and I don't know. I know yours is an 86, so I don't know.
If it's a
there's some
late model, I can't use it.
It
89?
came out of a 90.
Oh, no.
So it might not
that
work.
is a late model.
It might
I'll
work.
try it.
I wonder if the guts swap over though. I don't know.
Yeah.
we'll play with it.
Can't
I have that, and I still have that AFM. That I pulled out of the junk car.
Whoa! Is it a?
It's
Is it-
It came out of an Etta
Oh, God damn.
His is duct taped and like.
No. No. It's good. I got a new
Oh,
boot, and I got. And
Because my
I
dad
got-
sent me that video. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not gonna.
No. I replaced the boot, and I replaced my airbox with a factory eye airbox, which is great because
Yeah,
the other one
I
was.
have an Etta airbox with AFM and everything attached.
It's
so I
completely
pulled out of
different.
a pick and pull.
You can't use the Ada airbox or AFM on the iCar. It just won't.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, different totally.
But the one that I got, that this car, that like the engine that I swapped in came with, was like a stupid Canon filter. They deleted
yeah.
their airbox and just put a fucking Canon filter on it.
Hot air is the best air.
Yeah, right.
It is. And failing smog is always exciting.
Fuck it.
So yeah, that's done and running, and now it's all cosmetic, basically.
Bitchin'.
Nice. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should, now that we've sufficiently abused PCP, I suppose we should probably end with, like, if people want to get into the vault stuff and do the vault thing.
Oh yeah.
What does that look like? How do people do that? Where are you found? Is there a membership? What does that process look like? The people want to know, damn it.
Yeah. Our website is vaultautoclub.com. We have like a bunch of different links on our website to go to our memberships, which I actually really need to rebuild our website. I've been talking about it for months. So sorry if it's out of date.
Sorry.
Our Instagram is the easiest way to get in touch with us.
Cool.
I know we all check it fairly often, which is also Vault, VALT, Vault Auto Club on Instagram. DM
Cool.
us there, follow us. And then we have two different membership tiers. We have like a subscription membership, which gives you like early insight into upcoming public events.
Okay.
And we won't spam you with stuff. Promise.
But it still ends up in your mail.
But it's
your
still-
spam box
sometimes
apparently,
goes
due
to your
the,
spam,
due
yeah.
to the
But once
mail
you
issue.
permanently put us into your inbox, it should take you out of our spam. And then we have a paid membership platform, which is $20 a month or $220 a year, so 1 month free basically. And that comes with like, I think we talked about it earlier, like a bunch of membership benefits. We have like private events that are just for members and sometimes selected guests. We have a Mario Kart tournament coming up, for example, where the first place gets $300.
There you go. Get your membership back.
And yeah, members get to come free. So yeah,
Do you get a discount if you show up in a members only jacket to these events?
Ooh.
that would be funny. Yeah,
Okay.
that should be like a secret menu thing.
The game within the game.
Yeah. Oh, it also gets you free access to all of our quarterly shows. So like if you like
Sure.
Golden Gate Fields, you get
Right.
free access into like the staged parking spaces.
Very cool.
which is basically pays for that event for the month for you.
Perfect. Well, that's fun. So, okay, so that's, you said at Instagram, at VALT Auto Club, vaultautoclub.com. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do some more of this, so there will be a part 2. There's going to be another episode here with our guy Joe, so, do whatever you got to do to prep for that, Find that fleshlight we were talking about. Just really prepare.
Yep.
Otherwise, thanks for listening along. Chadwick, you got any parting shots before we leave?
Oh, do I? We'll do that off camera.
Okay, there we go.
No, but thanks
Body
again
shots?
for joining us, guys. Like I said, we got a volume 2 coming up. But Frank, where can the good people follow us on this
boy.
horribly put together podcast? that we try to run
Absolutely.
here?
Well, if you want to bear witness to the madness, our nearly abandoned Instagram page is at APA Podcast. We are another pointless automotive podcast,
APA.
which you already know. It's not about formatting, unfortunately. Yeah, it's
That'd be
we're going to talk about
That would
MLA
be hilarious.
next.
exactly.
APA MLA conference.
That's right.
How about you, Frank? Personally? where
Me
can we-
personally?
Yeah.
You can
Not
find me.
your
You can
OnlyFans.
find me in the club.
Do it.
You can find me on Grindr.
He's
You can find me.
in the club.
I'm at on the Instagrams and the YouTubes. That's the Photographer's Garage. .com is the website, which you don't want to go to, but just at the Photographer's Garage on the Instagram thing and the YouTube stuff. Chadwick, what about you?
Yeah, Auto Obsessive Garage on YouTube. Follow me for rescuing Project Crap cars and bringing them back to life, and
That's it.
doing reviews every once in a while. But that's all, baby.
That's right. Feels great, baby.
Let's close
Thanks,
it
guys.
out. Yeah, thanks, guys.
And thank you, listener.
As always, take care.
Bye.